Good evening and welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your host, the laid back, down to earth life coach, Aisha Israel, and we are ready to begin. Thank you for joining us. This is the very first time that we're doing this. We just wanted to see something. So it's the season finale of season 5. I'm so excited. I cannot believe that there have been 5 seasons already, and we already have boss chicks lined up for season 6. So I'm really excited. I am so amazed at what God has done, and I want to thank everybody that's here live in the studio for joining us. So I don't really have a lot to talk about. I'm just really excited that you're here, and we're just waiting to see how this goes tonight. Hopefully it goes well, and we'll see what happens after this. So up next, I'm going to have the esteemed Sister Afrika Porter, who is very popular in the Chicago streets. So we're going to have her come up and share all of her wonderful and amazing stories and see what kind of insight we can get. But hold on tight. Up next is our boss chick. All right, so we are here. Oh, I have to hold the mic. Okay, we're learning. Okay, we are here with our esteemed boss chick, and want to thank you so very much for joining me today. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm glad that I feel humbled that you took the time to come out and see us. So, what I would like for you to do is to just introduce yourself
Okay.
and then tell us what you do.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled that you thought enough of me to invite me. And thank you to Nicole Wheatley for suggesting me.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to be here. I love the space and I've been following you and congratulations.
Wow.
I love your platform. It's so nice. You're so
All right. So I have some questions.
Okay.
Just because you have a plethora of knowledge and a lot of experience. But I was watching a little brief clip about a documentary that you were involved in that had to do with the violence in Chicago. And so I wanted to know, first of all, what brought you to do that, to start that project?
Okay. Thank you for asking. Chicago at the Crossroads came about because if you're from Chicago, if you're not from Chicago, you're affected by what happens in Chicago. I was in California over the weekend, and every time someone said, "Where are you all from?" and we said Chicago, they cringed. That's not okay. Yesterday, they even showed me the statistics for the weekend shootings, which was 42, 17 homicides, 8 deaths in Chicago over this past weekend. Now, I'm from Chicago, born and raised, Hyde Park. However, I'm in California and on assignment, and this is the information I'm getting about my beautiful city. Chicago at the Crossroads came about, writer, director Brian Shortoff. He had been working on this film 14 years. He was from Kansas. He came here to go to school at Columbia College. And Columbia College, located downtown, used to be next to the Garden Pacific Mission. And he couldn't understand why homeless people were right there so close to the college. And people were just walking past every day as if they didn't see him almost. He thought that that was insane. And he started getting involved, trying to understand how he could help. CHA housing projects were torn down. He got the footage of that. And from there, I was introduced to him by a good friend, Dwayne Hirsch. And Dwayne said, I think Afrika would make a good producer because you're not from here. And she kind of has a heartbeat to the city. At the time, I had been in community development over 20 years and had been a community activist over 15. So we put it together. I started reaching out, got Dr. Timio Black, recent ancestor, advisor to President Barack Obama, and my professor from the University of Chicago. He was interviewed. We're so thankful that we got him speaking about his life moving here from the South and what Chicago used to look like in the early 1900s. Dr. Carol Adams, one of my mentors, Reverend Jesse Jackson. We got some wonderful people to tell the story of Chicago from then to now. And at the time, we just wanted to provide a documentary that shed light on Chicago and provided solutions to the violence in Chicago from a housing perspective. We understand that your home where you live predicates your quality of life and the lack thereof. So South Shore just recently got a grocery store. This is not 1960. They just got a grocery store 2 years ago. So this has a lot to do with the film and why it was important to create it. And during the film, we traveled to a lot of film festivals around the country. And when we came back to Chicago, we were asked to be a part of the celebrations in Chicago with the Emmys and the board. We had no idea. We were just like, okay, we'll try it. We really were just trying to do a film to tell the story about Chicago and provide some solutions because enough is enough. So we were nominated for 7 Emmys and we won 5. And so we're still like, what's going on? It wasn't the intent, but I mean, it's been really nice, really humbling.
Wow, that's nice. 5
Thank you.
out of 7. Wow.
I'm still like, what is going on? Thank you.
Well, look, I mean, it's so much information that's in the documentary and things that hit home, I'm sure, with a lot of us. But I wanted to know, like, even for anybody in this room or anybody watching, if they haven't seen it yet, how can they access it?
Thank you. You can see it at www.chicagoatthecrossroad.com. It's on Hulu, it's on Tubi, it's on Amazon Prime. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, you have so many projects. I also saw. Now, tell me about HipHopTV.
HipHopTV. One of the founders of HipHopTV.com is Sean Granberry. We met when I was working for Reverend Jackson in the press office at the National Rainbow Push Coalition some 20 years ago, and he was a part of Unsung. It was a part of MTV. You all remember that show, Unsung? They would go back into the lives of artists, entertainers, and see kind of like where are they now? What are they doing? What did they start off doing? And how has life been for them? Well, he was one of the founders of Unsung, and he started HipHopTV to provide a platform of positive Black people in the entertainment business. We partnered a few years ago, and we do a show called Solutions Only, where we focus on solution-oriented content to provide information and education and resources for our people. So say you have young people at home that they don't necessarily want to go away to college, but they need to learn a skill, a trade. So we provide that information because we understand that college is not for everyone. Everyone doesn't have it in their heart to do that. So we have routes for people to take so everybody can be successful. Because we believe that we have to provide these solutions because no one's going to do it but us.
And where do you promote that information for HipHopTV and, getting to people who, because I hadn't heard of it, not HipHopTV before, researching to find out what I needed to talk to you about today. So how do you reach people with that, or how do you inform people that it's there?
So HipHopTV is its own platform, just like your StreamYards and your Zooms. So it's its own and it's Black owned. So Sean has provided that space. We have utilized all of the networking platforms as well.
Okay, very good, very smart. I think I'm just going to announce now, I'm going to adopt her as my mentor.
I know, I'm adopting you. This is beautiful.
So much more. But I do want to spend just a little bit more time on the poverty in the urban community. And I wanted to know, because you may have touched on this in the documentary, but how do you feel that it's related to the amount of violence? Because there are urban places all over the country, right? Why in Chicago is the violence at such a high rate than in other urban areas? Have you done any?
Absolutely, and thank you for the question. I believe that the violence is at such an alarming rate in Chicago because historically Chicago, as Dr. King said in 1965 when he came here, this is the most segregated place I've ever seen. Those were Dr. King's words, and we have that in the documentary. It's been documented in books. After coming from the South, where you would think segregation would be more of a prevalent thing, separate water fountains, water hoses, dogs, on our people, lynchings. When Dr. King came to Chicago, he was in awe. But those of us that are from here, we see it, right? Pilsen, neighborhoods are so segregated. You have blacks and blacks and blacks and black, white, Hispanic, other Latino. So our communities are so divided. And we understand, again, that goes to housing, and that was all intentional as well. So we have redlining. We have the white flight, whereas when black people move into a particular neighborhood, that's when white people tend to leave. I have a girlfriend who's very successful in real estate. She moved to Frankfurt after growing up in Inglewood, not necessarily to escape the community because she still works in Inglewood, but she wanted to raise her children there. And when she moved there, she saw that all her neighbors were very, very unkind and very unfriendly. And it wasn't the sense of community that she thought she would get to provide our children that diversity. So their friends can have friends at soccer and they have diversity. They always like, oh, we're not talking to y'all. And she was the only black family in that subdivision. So she found herself coming back to the city. So that was just 2 months ago. So this has not changed.
Oh, wow.
This has not changed. Mm-hmm.
I do know when I moved to Chicago 20 something years ago that was alarming to me, that it was so segregated. And I remember just trying to look for apartments, look for jobs, and open up businesses. And I remember people telling me, "Oh, you can't do it over there." And I'd be like, "Well, I've never been told that in my life. What do you mean I can't do it over there? Or if I do it over here, I have to pay somebody extra to do that." And I'm like, "This doesn't seem
right." Like, what's really going on?
But I feel like if we are accepting that, and that's part of the problem as well. So just because they're unkind in certain areas, we are accepting that. Because those were black people telling me that I couldn't go there. So I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, and especially with you telling me that's only 2 months ago.
Oh yeah, very recent.
So we haven't really evolved because that was 20 something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that. Okay. So I always ask for my boss chicks to just kind of say what makes you a boss chick in your own words.
Wow. I didn't know it was. I think just utilizing my voice. I think oftentimes we're in spaces where, for whatever reason, we don't say certain things. For me, it started when I was a very young girl, seeing an injustice happen to another young girl. And we were getting off the bus, and I saw a young girl being fondled. It was a crowded bus, and me and my siblings were standing on the bus going to church. And I was trying to get my sister to pay attention because it was so crowded. And by the time I said something, I was scared. We had to get off the bus. So that moment instilled in me that I would never not say something when I see something. So I started very young speaking up. And then I think I have to attribute my parents. My father, Reverend Dr. John Porter, recent ancestor, he was Dr. King's first SCLC chapter president for Chicago. And so growing up in a household where African art is so reinforced, like we couldn't get our hair permed. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff we just couldn't do. We couldn't put our head on our chest and say, I pledge allegiance to the flag. There was none of that. We had to sit in the hallway at my grammar school when the Pledge of Allegiance was said because my parents were Pan-Africanist. So there were some things about them that did not gel well with the world, you know what I'm saying? And my mother being an educator, a teacher, they instilled a lot in my siblings and I. And me being the youngest of six, I feel like I kind of get all of it from everybody because I had to listen. So I think what makes me a boss chick, and I'm sorry for being long-winded, was just being able to listen and to understand and comprehend and then give it back in this form, because there's no way I'm going to sit around and let my people not do well. I'm not going to do it.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. I don't know if anybody has any questions in the room. We've never done that before, but all right. So I wanted to know anybody out there that's looking and listening and is aspiring to be a boss chick. And I often really am talking to young African American girls who see so many things on movies and hear so many things in the music. What does it take to be a boss chick, or what can they do if that's something they're aspiring to do?
I love that. I think that young ladies that are aspiring to be better, or what's the definition of a boss chick?
What your
Being better.
definition? Well, so
Okay.
I mean, a boss chick is someone who empowers others, someone
Uh-huh.
who is making change, somebody who is unapologetically
Mm-hmm.
successful. Just
Mm-hmm.
but also not alone.
Okay. I
You know
love
what I
it.
mean? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think just surround yourself with others that you want to be like. I took a lot from my mom. My mom is the founder and one of the presidents, past presidents of the Alfreda Wells Duster organization. It's an organization that preserves the life and legacy of Ida B. Wells. And if we know Ida B. Wells, we know that sister spoke up
Yeah.
for lynchings
Yeah.
at a time where you didn't talk at all. You know what I'm saying? And being a boss chick to me is putting yourself around women that you aspire to be and being a good listener. I took a training on listening versus hearing. And there are two very distinctive differences. Some people talk in conversations so they can have something to say back. There are those who listen so they can retain it and then have something to say back intelligently and well received. I think that my young ladies out there, please don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're going through something, if you have needs for something, if you feel in your spirit things are just not well or right, say something. Don't ever be embarrassed or ashamed. Reach out to someone. With social media, we're all pretty accessible. Send us a DM. Don't be ashamed. We're here today, but we were once young ladies like yourselves, right? We've all had insecurities. We've all had doubts, fears, so reach out. Don't feel like you're in it alone. We got y'all.
I love that. All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. And as always, I'm going to extend an invitation for you to come back later in the show for
Oh,
Girl Talk.
absolutely. Thank
But we're
you.
going to discuss relationship
Okay.
questions that people have.
Mm-hmm.
Down for
Okay.
that? Okay. All right. Well, thank
Thank you.
you for tuning in and watching and listening to Sister Africa Porter, our boss chick this week. And up next, we're going to have Dr. Carletha Hughes with the spotlight on health.
Hey everyone, I am Dr. Hughes. I'm a pediatrician, but I came here to just give a spotlight on health. So, today I wanted to talk about something that most of us may not have talked about in a few years. And especially with COVID and we've been isolated and in the house for a while, I want to talk about weight loss, the easy tips we can do to help us establish better diet routines and to focus more on us and to actually have a plan. So I'm going to give you good tricks and tips to help you hopefully start easy weight loss. So lesson number one, you should start off with making a plan. Be mindful, have a goal set, and never start off with, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds. That shouldn't be a big, crazy goal. You start with little goals, and every time you add on. So, hey, within this month, I want to lose at least a pound a week. I want to do it healthy. I want to start off. Or, hey, I want to just start off taking more exercise and walking more. So, number one, be mindful. Start off with a good plan. Write it down. Tell it to some of your close friends so they can keep you accountable. So that's the first one. Second one, I would suggest to start eating breakfast. Start waking up, eating a healthy breakfast every day. That can get your mind going. People who eat breakfast most of the time consume less calories at the end of the day because they don't have a up and down or a constant drop in their blood sugar. So I would definitely suggest eat breakfast. Another thing I would suggest is to eat more healthy proteins. So try to incorporate more proteins in your diet, whether it's lean meat or nuts. I would definitely suggest to eat healthy proteins. You can even substitute a healthy smoothie and add a little protein. So I would definitely get your proteins up. Because if you start to lift weights, you don't want to start having muscle breakdown. Next, you have to cut your carbs. None of us like it, but you definitely have to start cutting your carbs. And you cut your carbs by substituting bright, colorful foods like more fruits and vegetables, more greenery. Sometimes I tell patients to suggest new vegetables and new fruits they haven't tried before. So think about that. Try, say once a month, I'm going to try at least 3 or 4 new vegetables I haven't had yet. So more protein, increase your vegetable intake. Now, when you are eating, one thing you should do is cut down the plate. Have smaller plate portions. That will help you be more mindful of the calorie intake that you take in. And just remember that the vegetables should be the largest portion of the plate if possible. Another nice quick tip you can do is start off with a salad or soup to make sure that you're not starved and you don't get a big portion of anything else that's not healthy, like constant starches and breads and things. I would suggest to start off with a smaller portion and start off with super salad so your body will have some intake and you won't be starved. So when it's time for lunch and dinner, you're not over engorging. Next thing is, most important thing, you should drink more water. Make sure that you are well hydrated throughout the day. One hint you can do is half your weight in ounces of water. So definitely drinking more water. People who drink enough water show constant weight loss without even incorporating other things. So just make sure that you're well hydrated. Sometimes something else, make sure you don't eat too fast. Make sure you chew well and chew your food thoroughly before you start for the next portion. So eat slowly, make sure you indulge in healthy fruits and vegetables, and completely chew up your food before you take the next portion. And if you drink alcohol, I would suggest don't waste your calories on liquid, so reduce your alcohol intake if possible. And don't waste calories from soda and unnecessary drinks. So I definitely would suggest more water and don't waste your calorie on liquid. And last thing, try to incorporate more steps every day. So if it's parking at the end of the parking lot or going up steps if you only work on the second floor, or making conscious efforts of making at least 10,000 steps a day will actually increase your heart rate and it will bring it in. And if you had an easy day or you sit all the time, take constant breaks after 30 minutes just to walk down the hall and come back. Little things like that would increase your heart rate. It will keep your muscles going and it'll keep you active so you can add up those steps throughout the day. And last but not least, it takes a time. So do not stress. Don't beat yourself up. If you made 1 or 2 mistakes, just start over the next day. Always have positive messages with yourself. And I know we all can do that. So I hope I'm able to help with good, healthy, smart, easy weight loss tips that I'm sure will work. So I'm Dr. Hughes. Thank you so much for your time. And up next is Girl Talk.
Oh, yes, it's time for Girl Talk with Dawn B, Latanya, Eudania, and yours truly, your laid back, down to earth life coach. All right, ladies, it's time to decide. Would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth? Think about it, but whatever you choose, just don't forget the wine. All right, now, it's time to get this conversation started. All right, so we are back with the Girl Talk panel. Sister Afrika Porter decided to stay with us and tackle these relationship questions. And of course, to my left, we have Latanya. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. And over here, the Dawn B of Chicago is here with
Mic check 1, 2.
All right. So For those of you who have never seen the show before, or this is your first time in a long time tuning in, I'm going to briefly go over the rules for Girl Talk. So, what this is a relationship panel, and we tackle scenarios, questions, and personal truths. So, each lady on the panel has an opportunity to choose, and when it's their time to choose, they get a chance to answer uninterrupted. And then when they're done, we'll chime in with our 2 cents, 5 cents, 15 cents. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
So I'm used to being on the screen. So I usually start with the person to my left. Yes? Okay. So, all right, Miss Latanya, you are up first. So what would you like? A question, a scenario, or a personal truth?
I will take a question.
A question. All right. So if you have the opportunity to stay home and not work because your husband is taking care of all the bills and more, would you do it?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So, of course, I had the opportunity to stay at home, and I did. But I had to make my own money too, man. I can't I have to make my own money too. So yeah, I'll stay at home, but I still need to work for myself.
So I think that's a no.
It's a yes and no.
Okay, it's a yes and no.
It's my life right now, basically. It's my reality.
Gotcha. All right. Did anybody else want to chime in?
I feel like Don wants that.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. If I had the opportunity to stay at home and my husband did everything, yes, I would.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's also the fine print. Of course, I would be like playing bingo and shit. Like, I just wouldn't be at home binge watching.
Right.
I'll be binge watching From and Fabulous Mrs. Maisel and like, yes, I would do it. Of course.
Okay.
I mean, that's essentially. See, I didn't want to keep talking, but y'all got me drinking this Candid Conversation wine. But that's essentially, in my life, a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like I would be a stay-at-home mom with no kids. See, that's the difference. I don't understand the question completely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But so, if it was no kids involved, yes. But I have discovered that I am not a stay-at-home mom. Shout out to the stay-at-home mom. I think it's a sham. I mean, no, those are acronyms. A sham. A stay-at-home mom. I couldn't do it. I said it with an accent, a song. I can't do it. I tried it. I did it for almost a year, and I was just like nuts. Well, because I'm not that calculated. You have to do everything. Everything's a schedule.
Yeah.
No. And I couldn't. But I'm just I am a working mom. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And that's just the life I live. But if he gonna do all that, they get outside with nothing else to do, sure.
Well, I think I was forced into being a stay-at-home person during the pandemic, right? Because I could not go anywhere. But it was frustrating for me because, I mean, yes, the dishes need to be washed, the laundry needs to be done, stuff needs to be swept and vacuumed. But I'm like, I got stuff to do.
Right. Nothing else.
It's not really, I mean, it has to be done, but now that's leaving very little time for me to do the stuff that I want to do, that I need to do. Yeah, I think getting out of the house is just better.
But you pay people.
Because he paying for everything.
Right.
So I'm paying for a nanny. I'm paying for.
Oh, add that to the list. I need a housekeeper, the driver. Okay, we might have something there because I need all those things. What about you?
I mean, well, I was a stay-at-home mom, so but it was my choice because I wanted to homeschool my children.
Okay.
So it was an agreement after our oldest son had been in 9 schools and he wasn't 9 years old. and we were moving all around the state trying to figure out what school was the best. We agreed and we decided that we were the best parents and teachers for our children.
Mhm.
So we homeschooled them. They're grown now, so that was over 20 years ago. But yeah, and I'm just thankful because now that the pandemic happened, the pandemic happened, we were able to help counsel other parents who were forced into a homeschool situation for the first time. I knew that when I was pregnant, I was going to homeschool my children, right? So it was nice to be in position to help our families and figure out curriculums, who can teach what, how we can get different parents to help them online. So that was very important, you know what I mean? But
damn, Afrika, I didn't know you was doing that. I'd have called you. Because I had them at the school, like, it's okay. You didn't quarantine here.
All right, so let's move to Dawn. Dawn, would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth?
Personal truth. Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Have you ever dated outside your race?
See, it's a whole story behind that. Have I ever dated outside of my race? I have gone on dates outside of my race because, okay, going on dates and dating. I didn't date them. I went out. I said, listen, Dawn, be open-minded. You're trying to get off these streets. Just be open-minded, right? And this is literally this is right before I met my husband, my ex-husband now. And I discovered that I'm probably not that open-minded. So, I mean, I went out with a couple white boys, Caucasian.
Europeans.
And I was like, ooh, it's not for me. It just wasn't for me. It was my preference. It was how I was rolling. I'm a poor righteous teacher, peace to the gods. So I did. I went on dates. I did not date. I have not dated.
How many dates?
One.
Oh.
One.
So
Was it the same person or?
it was two different white boys.
Oh.
It was all in a 3-4 week period. Now I was like, girl,
You got it out.
got it out. Yeah, I had my
A little
options.
short.
You gotta have your options. And then, I mean, because I was open-minded and I just decided to receive love however it came, I did meet my husband
Nice.
in that same trip
Oh,
Wow.
over in Okinawa, Japan. You know, the military be ready to date anybody.
All right. Anybody else on the panel? Ever dated outside
No.
your race? Okay.
Nah, not interested.
I read this book one time. I was like 19, and the lady dated outside her race, and all I remember was her saying, "Oh my God, it's pink."
Oh my God, that is
It's
crazy.
no.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. What book was that?
Little Mama's Rules.
Wow.
It's like,
And see, that question opens
That's
up a whole different.
yeah. So no, basically, I read that book and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay there where I am. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they feel different. I mean, let me. Not the pink, but the people. All right. I answered the question.
There you go. Okay, so next.
Before we get canceled on our last show. You know, the cancel culture is out there.
It's on you. Moving on. Would you like a question, a scenario, or a personal truth?
I'll take a question.
All right. Question.
A nice question.
I don't know. Well, we should.
Okay. Is texting another guy every day about your day while being in a relationship considered cheating? Did I read that
It's
right?
sexy.
It's texting another guy every day. about your day.
It says being in a relationship.
I mean, it depends. Like, is that your friend? Are you guys just cool? Is this somebody? I just trying to see how you feel. It just depends. It just depends. I mean, I think if it's every day, that could be a bit much. And you have to think about it objectively. Would I want my husband texting another woman every day about their day? That answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say no.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it is cheating. I think that it is. But it does depend on the conversation.
Yeah.
But like every day's a lot. Like
That's a
why are you so invested? You know what I mean? Why are you so every day?
Okay, check this out.
Every day though?
It's
I don't have any friends that I check on every day. But I'm busy. I'm a wonderful friend. I'm very loyal. But this is the thing. But we all have different personalities. I think that my husband would be uncomfortable if I'm texting somebody else every day to find out how their day is going. Like, why am I so invested over here? I should be checking on my husband, checking on my kids, checking on my mom. You know what I mean? Like, they're so.
Yeah. It's only 24 hours.
You're not checking on them. You telling them how your day was. It's not cheating. It's a little inappropriate. It's not cheating though, because I mean, it could lead to cheating. That's not cheating.
No, it is like your significant other doesn't know though. It doesn't say. It says you text someone every day. What if your significant other is aware that you and this other person have this type of conversation? Then that
and they're okay with it, not just aware, but
anything
okay.
that you do that they are not okay with, if you're in a real committed relationship, is in essence cheating. If they're not, if say you guys have a grounded relationship and you're doing something that you know that they don't like and you're doing it sneakily, it's not cheating, it's adultery. Well,
Sneakily.
Okay.
Yes, then that's not saying you're cheating on your spouse, but in essence you're a runner.
Okay, here we go. It's a wrap.
All right.
Okay, but every day. Okay.
I
don't think it's
is a
cheating.
lot.
I think it's inappropriate. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
So you're just changing the vocabulary, but you shouldn't do
I
it.
think it's inappropriate.
That's more inappropriate.
Unless I'm like,
All right.
Cheating is in marriage. I don't think dating people cheat.
okay.
But how do you
Wait a
get to
minute, hold on,
marriage if
hold
you
on.
don't know how to control?
We have to let the people
cheating?
know. One of our audience members said she thinks cheating is in marriage and not in a regular relationship
And thank you, Dawn, for that. I appreciate that.
because they can't hear her.
Right, they can't hear her.
She said that cheating, if you're not married, you can't cheat, is what she's saying.
Okay.
Well,
I
before
don't
I was married, we were in a committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so being in a committed relationship
Mhm.
is cheating.
It's cheating,
It
yeah.
is a ring. It's no, what I said before I was married. We were in a committed relationship for a lot of
Before
years.
the ring.
Right, before the ring.
And that's important, what you all's agreement or committed is to each other
The
matters.
agreement,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And then, like my sister, I personally, friend or not, like, find somebody else to ask
Yeah.
about their day.
Yeah.
Don't ask my husband.
Right.
I mean, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
why you gotta call him? Why you want to know how?
Right, he got somebody checking
Well,
on him
no,
already.
I got that. No, do something else.
There's a million people in the world. Right.
That's already.
What she said, after said, if you don't want your husband to do it, and then I would, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, no. Or yes, it is cheating. If you, Tanya, call somebody every day and just tell them how your day was. Hey, today I was mad. Today I was getting my business license and it was hectic.
Yeah.
You know, and today I took a nap.
Honestly, when you're telling a story, by the time it gets to the next person, like i.e. my husband, I'm drained. I don't have the same energy for the story. I'm gonna skip parts in it, so I'm giving someone else all of those details
Okay, now. Mhm.
without giving it to my husband.
So,
First.
Right.
calling somebody every day to tell them about your day means you about to cheat.
It could be a precursor
It's
to
a
that.
precursor to cheat. It is.
A precursor.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah. It's inappropriate.
All right. Right.
Right.
Okay. So my turn. We good? You
Yeah.
ready? All right. So I'm going to take a scenario.
Here we go.
Here we go, yo. You supposed to.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
All right. So first, okay. First, you need to know that I'm in a lot of debt. I've been overwhelmed financially for several months. I'm in a relationship, but my guy has bills of his own and not a lot of extra. So recently, a friend of mine told me she has a friend that helps her out with her bills from time to time, but sometimes they have sex. They are not in a relationship, and she says she's not emotionally attached. She asked me if I wanted her to introduce us. I'm really tempted. I'm really trying to. I'm really tempted. Help. I need advice now.
Hold on.
So trying to put myself in the mindset of somebody.
So
who
she
would
wrote
be
the first
tempted.
question. She wrote the last question.
She should have stopped with her dad. She should have stopped right there and figured shit out.
Yeah, got a part-time job.
So right. Well, that's, I mean, again, trying to put myself in the mindset of somebody who would be tempted. That would not be tempting for me.
She wants
However,
advice for her.
you're right. So I would say it's not a good idea. Please don't get introduced. You don't know how far the rabbit hole goes.
Yeah.
Is really where I'm thinking. Like, oh, I have this friend from time to time. We have a little sex. He gives me a little money. That sounds like prostitution to me.
It is. Get out of debt, girl. Drop it like it's hot, girl.
It's definitely an exchange.
I need my piece. You do you, and I'm gonna do me.
I mean, because there are processes to get out of debt.
No, that sounds like a hoe. There's a difference. Prostitute is a profession. That is a hoe. She just always doing some strange things. But yeah, I get paid. You're right. She needs to get paid.
I think that she just needs to get a payday loan.
But
I'm just playing, so she like that. I think that's crazy. It's like 1-800 rent a sugar daddy. Like, I got this guy. You want me to introduce? Like, what?
Yeah,
That's crazy. It's nuts.
well, coming from a divorcee, don't get introduced because she gonna get mad and tell on you. No, I'm just playing. Do whatever you feel. You that tempted them. But you know what? You know what? I say this. As much as she's talking to her girlfriend about figuring it out, figure out another come up.
Yeah.
Be talented.
Yeah.
People like this are gonna go regardless. She's going.
No, she's not. I've been tempted too, sis.
Well, listen,
I've been all on Craigslist like, oh shit.
Listen to me. People like this are going. What she's looking for is the girl's gonna be like, go girl, do it girl.
No.
She looking for reassurance. She looking for
Validation.
a co-signer. She looking for backup. Because if any part of her felt like this is wrong, then she was like, what?
Exactly.
That's her.
Well, she might have said, listen, we all, I don't know. I'm not
No,
gonna
the
speak
fact
for all
that
of
she
us.
posed the question, because immediately I would have been like, girl,
She might have said
That's
that.
crazy.
What if she said that and then got home and got hit with another bill and was like, I might need to get introduced.
Why is she with a man that can take care of her?
Because in the beginning, it might not be like that. You know what I mean? Like some shit happened. The pandemic hit. Yo, check this out though.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. We had a whole pandemic. And I am an entertainer, and my shit was shut down. It was no like I work in clubs that was completely done. I did go on SugarDaddy.com. I swear to God. But I didn't pull the trigger. I was like, you had age groups, you had colors, everything. I was tempted, and I've been a hoe in my time. I was a hoe from '98 to 2006, but I didn't go. I didn't do it. I figured it out. I talked to the Lord in prayer. I started some garage stay your ass at home comedy show, and I promise you I was blessed. So that's what I'm saying. If you're tempted, then talk to the Lord in prayer. Even if you are not a Christian, whatever it is, talk to a vibration. Higher power. Figure it out. Now, if his name is Sugar Daddy, then introduce me, bitch, because I'm saying.
She's single. So that's how I know. The difference is you're single. She is in a relationship.
Yeah, it happens to me too.
She shouldn't be on SugarDaddy.com. You can go on SugarDaddy.com.
Also, though, in a relationship, because you have so much ego, this happened to me as well, because I became a stay-at-home mom, as I said, And I was like, yo, I cannot ask this N-word no money. So you go through all the channels and you think, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And then you stop at that. Oh, that's black as hell. I can't. So you do think of it for a second. I'm not even gonna front. But I didn't go through it because I'm righteous and shit. I understand now.
All right.
And never judge a book by her decisions.
All right. It is time to move on to the next person. That was me. You want a question, a scenario, or a scenario? All right.
So what's that? Okay.
We gotta have a button for that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think all the same person wrote these. Okay, my husband works and I am a stay-at-home mom. He is the most unselfish person I know. I handle all the finances and he has never said or acted like it was his money. It's our money. Anyway, he is upset with me because he found out I had a bank account he knew nothing about. I've been making money online and keeping it from him. Oh, okay. He says that the problem is not that I've been making money, but that I kept it from him in the event of a divorce someday. He said that women keeping a stash of hidden money in case the marriage fails is like a man keeping a side chick in case the marriage fails, and that we both need to be all we both need to be all in or nothing. My mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this wrong? Is my husband right?
Damn, that's a long ass, dumb ass question.
It's not your turn.
I'm sorry.
Actually, like that one. That's the first scenario that actually like. It went out.
So
Yeah,
Wait a minute. For Dora, leave the room just right. Like, plug your interest left.
no, so honestly, I was raised like that. My grandmother kept a stash and she always told me to keep a stash. However, my grandmother was in a different situation. My grandfather was very irresponsible, and so she had to have money just in case he did not. In her case, I do. Honestly, I feel like if her husband is taking care of everything and making her feel secure, then why are you hiding the fact that you're making additional money?
I agree.
Yeah,
Well,
but he went too far with the side chick.
Exactly.
Like, dude, like if you want to cheat, just say that. Like,
Just say that.
oh, you got some extra income now. Finna have a side chick. Like, nah, dude, you went too far with that. Like, it's not that same.
I feel like that he was trying to put it in a perspective to make her understand how it feels to him.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he was saying I want a side chick. He was saying like you keeping money just in case is like me keeping a bitch just in case.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Oh well, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Because she
He's
said
trying
the
to
divorce.
make her feel how it felt.
even though it was a
But
dumbass
my question
analogy.
is, a secret stash, why is it secret?
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
that's
No,
where
that's
her fault was.
the thing.
Right. But what I'm saying is like my money and my bank account, we don't talk about it. It's secret. It's just my money and my bank account.
No,
Okay.
but
My money in my bank account.
I mean, but if
I'm
you
not running like shh.
in her case though, if you're building with somebody, then why are you like
I mean, are we
keeping
supposed to
things
walk
to
out
the
and say,
side?
hey, by the way, this is what I made today.
No,
Well,
you
okay.
shouldn't. But the
Excuse
fact
me.
that she started a whole secret business with a whole separate bank account, and just mysteriously she ended up telling the other friend who check on her every day about the. Like you
That part.
Well,
Well,
But
listen.
I think it's so. I think the key word is secret
Yeah.
because I just feel like my husband and I think at this point we still don't have joint personal accounts. but nothing is a secret. He always saying, where you keep getting money from? Where you keep getting money from? But you know about these accounts. I will print out my statement in a heartbeat, right, honey?
But what you
Okay, but I'm saying like
But will you give him the ATM card?
I don't have anything. No, but no, but I mean, so it's not a secret. It's there. You know what I mean? And he knows it's there. And I mean, sometimes it might be, you know, I don't touch it. Okay, I don't touch it, so it might build up, and he'd be like, "Where you get all this money from?" I mean, like literally, it's
because I'm spending your money.
Weeks.
Right. It adds up.
Yeah.
It adds up if I'm spending his money because he's paying all of it. But I think this is it. It's not. I think it was not only a secret account. It was an OnlyFans page, which was the secret. How she got the money.
So she wasn't in his sweater.
How she got the money was the secret more than
The money
the
itself.
account.
Right.
But listen, I was raised too, Tanya, to have a stash. Just because you never, like you said, that I had no idea I would ever be divorced.
Yeah.
I was floored.
Yeah.
However, I didn't have a secret stash. I had a little bit of money because that's what we did. But he was clear. He knew I had the USAA account because he put money into that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also did, you know, the family household demo.
Right.
And I didn't just splurge on book because I'm a Libra. I'll be spending like, ooh, that's cute. I'm gonna get it. And it wasn't a secret that I had this because he could go in and had all the codes. But you need a stash. As a man, I think they should have it too. Like, I don't discriminate, but I'm glad I had it. He knew about it. And when I saw this OnlyFans page, my new husband won't know about it. And that's for damn sure.
Oh, wow.
10 years.
I think a larger issue with that scenario is that this woman seemingly has a good man. A man who has taken all her worries, financial worries away.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, if you have a good man, why are you creating a problem?
But what
Well,
if
she
her
wasn't
intention
taught that
is-
way.
But what if her intention is?
She didn't know.
What if her thought process
Yeah.
is really just in case you hold it down, you took care of everything in the event if some shit should hit the fan or something go wrong, I'm gonna step up and you're gonna be like, why can't you just say that?
Right, so you
Yeah.
see, so it honestly,
In the
We
event
got to
something
chat.
happens. Yeah, but in those situations, most men, I won't say most, in those situations, a lot of men probably think, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a housewife. There's no way you can financially pick up the pieces if I crash. But when you step up and say, here go the pieces, you know what I mean? It's gonna be like, yeah,
And then you,
Right.
and when you step up and pick up the pieces, they're gonna be like, oh, you too strong. And then you're gonna be divorced like me.
okay, so honestly, that goes back to like, whenever you start like therapy and things like that, they go back to your childhood. And so what she said was like, my mom always told me that, and I said, my grandmother,
My
she was the same way. But we have to realize, why did our parents think like that? Why did my grandmother think like that? Like, we would be without lights, without water. She like, look, stay somewhere else. I got the money, but I want to see if he gonna pay it. I'll give him time. She's not presented with those same things. And it's almost like those generational curses and things like that. Where do you break it?
Yeah.
So it's like grandma's thought process.
instability. She doesn't feel that. She has stability. That's
So there's really no reason for her to do
Exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
whole secret business.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, right, because while she was making
Going
money.
back to what she experienced in her childhood, in her lifestyle, people have to realize when relationships come together, we're raised by two totally different foundations,
Mic
two
check.
totally different
Yeah.
upbringings, two totally different thought processes.
Yeah.
Now you have people, sisters, that were raised the same and are night and day.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I'm meeting someone that's raised by a whole totally different person, it's very difficult to understand your thought process, your foundation. Like, are you crazy? It's not that they're crazy or they're not crazy.
It's raised different. Yeah.
We're raised different. And we have to find a common ground. We have to break generational curses by not always saying, well, this is what my mom said, this is what my
Right.
this is what my grandma said.
Or this is how I was
what my
raised.
said.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what works for us. How are we gonna go
Yeah,
for
for
what are we
yourself.
gonna do?
Exactly.
In this
Secret account.
Right.
I'll
I
take
know
a
that
question.
a lot of culturally, a lot of black mothers or families were like that.
Yes.
But we were not. Nobody ever taught me to keep a stash. I mean,
Okay, girl talk.
we're-
You're gonna be on the next season, girl.
That be me in the comments talking crap.
Oh yeah, that's Talia. Okay, we're winding down. So Dawn, we're gonna go to you
Question.
to choose a question. Okay, she would like a question.
Christian. Okay, whatever comes up fast. But this is hilarious. Okay, are we having
Technical difficulty?
I have a question. Patrick Kennard
Okay.
sent me one.
She's ready. Okay, my fiance wants to have a wedding and I don't. I want a small ceremony. She wants to use the $16,000 that I have saved up for a home for emergency funds. I already spent $3,000 on the ring she wanted, and that was from my savings. We can't seem to come to a compromise. I'm willing to spend $5,000 on the wedding, but she said that's not enough. What
Okay.
can I do?
What should you do? What can I do? What you can do is find another bitch. I'm done with that question. It's obvious. You stated that shit in the middle. You literally said she wants to spend all the coins on a punk ass wedding instead of investing in our lifestyle, our love, our happiness. You want to get a big ass dress.
But she's financially irresponsible.
Yeah.
So that's the. What can you do?
Which could be a long-term problem.
It is
might
because
not stop at just the wedding.
it's not going to stop. You are correct. It's not going to stop at the wedding. Well, this is my answer. What can you? She said, "What can I do?" Don't go through with the wedding.
Oh.
Did you
It's
say
a guy. The guy is saying, "What should I do?" Because she does.
okay? Same thing then. Get another bitch. I'm sorry. Same thing. Do not go through with the marriage. Or delay it until she can understand where you are coming from, because this is very serious. Because if she's going to be the same chick, she's going to be the and then she's going to be the same.
Right. What can you do? Ask her to put up another $5,000.
Also, ask her to put on. Also, she's going to be the same person that's going to say, "Are we still living in this one bedroom?
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. My car don't have gas. Cash that wedding dress in. Cash your wedding.
Right. Get all that money back.
Wait, what did it
I
say?
didn't hear you.
It
It was
said,
a comment.
Oh, I missed the comments. What did it say? Yeah, and right. She might not even be ready for marriage. Period. Yeah, I mean, because I'm probably the one on this panel that watches those shows like Love is Blind and Married at First Sight and all that. And so many times, I'm like, why are they here? Like that, you are not ready to get married. Why did you think that you were ready to get married?
well, she might just be ready
For married to move on. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hear you.
Some people are raised to get married.
Yeah, Africa.
Yeah, so should I.
We can end it. Africa got time.
Then that's what you're supposed to do. That's just the next thing in life.
They don't even have
Married, no.
idea, or they're not doing the foundation of what marriage is. They just raised to do it.
All right, so we have time. We have time for something small. Don't pick a scenario.
Okay, just a question. A quick
A
question.
question. Okay, so excuse me. So I'm saying doctor. Is that prophetic?
Are you
Okay,
speaking to my
Sister, right.
Thank
Sister Africa Porter would like a question. A quick question. She said. Okay. What are some things that What are some things that women find unattractive about men but won't tell them?
Oh.
It sounds like she was there.
Is this somebody here?
It just says women and men. It doesn't say somebody you're in a relationship
Wow.
with.
What is-
No, you need to hear this, sir.
Sir.
Callaway.
I guess maybe like sometimes men can be too much in terms of conversation and communication. You ever talk to someone and it's always, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did this, I have this, I have that, I. Not that you don't want to hear and apply to success, but sometimes it could be a lot. So maybe, and it depends, like if you're dating, you know what I mean, your first date, you get to know each other, but it's enough is enough sometimes.
Got it.
Just in terms of the conversation. Like not having the balance is what I'm saying.
Got it. I'm trying to think of what I wouldn't.
What's the question again? What we
something
don't
that
like.
women think is unattractive about
Right.
men, but they don't tell them.
Dirty jump.
But you wouldn't tell them though?
I would say things like that. Yeah.
Your cologne, you cheap, you make me feel weird sometimes.
All right. Okay. All right. Anyone?
We
Okay.
can
So
keep
it's time.
going after
I
what
know.
we
Okay.
read,
So
right?
don't move because you know it's all about the after party. All right. So we are getting ready to close the show. I want to thank you for tuning in to the season finale of Candid Conversations. I hope you thought this went well. I had a lot of fun. And maybe we will do this again. So I want to thank you for watching. Tune in. I think the season 6 we've already decided is going to start at the end of September. September 26th, I believe, is the date. And we have a Dr. Malika Brown. So come on in for that. She's a mental health specialist. So she has a lot of nuggets to drop. Anyway, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thank you for coming out. See you next time.
They already threw it up.